What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. We are live, and we have a lot to discuss about. Y'all to talk about. Y'all know Cheryl Lee Ralph. She is on Elementary School show on ABC. She played in Moesha. She also played in Dreamgirls. So let's definitely dive into the controversy that is coming up, or what she said on All the Way Up with Angela Yee. Sheryl Lee Ralph has alleged she was sexually assaulted by a famous TV judge at a business event years ago, and claiming the network's executive witnessed the attack but asked her to stay silent to avoid bad press. This is a quote from Sheryl Lee Ralph. She said, "quote I'm at a very public place. I was suited. I had my suit on. I was handling my business for the television show I was on at the time. He and I were on the same network," Ralph said, recalling the alleged incident. The man walked in, grabbed me by the back of my neck, turned me around, and rammed his nasty tongue down my throat. Ralph said, and everybody at the network saw it. The Emmy Award elementary actor and Dreamgirls star did not name the man who allegedly assaulted her, and she did not reveal which network or show she was working with at the time. Ralph made sure not to know it was not Judge Greg Mathis. "I love him. He's a great man," she said of the Judge Mathis star. "Not him at all. He's a great man." That was another one. Ralph made the allegations this week on the podcast The Way Up with Angela Yee, getting visibly upset as she retold her story. Ralph said she decided to open up about it in the hopes of encouraging other women and actors to stand up for themselves. "Speak up." This is a quote. "Speak up. Tell your truth. Do not carry the burden of the pain, especially if you feel like it is something you can't work through," Ralph said. Ralph said she was ready to report the incident, even calling the former mayor of New Orleans, who was in office from 1994 to 2002. During that time frame, Ralph starred on the UPN sitcom Moesha. Ralph said that the mayor immediately came to her defense, asking, "You want me to send the police there right now? Because we will fix this. You know what?" But the network, Ralph claimed, asked her to stay silent. Okay. Somebody on the network tapped me on the shoulder saying, "Please don't," Ralph share. "They don't want any bad press around their show and did not care what had just happened to me. They saw what happened," Ralph continued, recalling that she was told by the network executives and bystanders. She added, "It's not that bad, is it? Please don't say anything. We don't need the bad press. It's a brand new show. Yours is a new show. It wasn't so bad after all, was it?" Question. This kind of stuff that happens, Ralph said that what makes it hard for women to speak up about these things. Variety has reached out to the representative for Ralph for further comment. As of right now, they have no further comment on that. Now, this is the piece with Judge Joe Brown. So Judge Joe Brown goes around saying that he's going to sue. This is an innuendo because people said it was Judge Joe Brown. Since she cleared Judge Mathis, everybody said it was Judge Joe Brown. Then it came about that Judge Joe Brown did an interview with a YouTuber by the name of Mob Radio on her station here, and he talked about how this is not right, that he's not bad, he's not mad at Sheryl Lee Ralph, but said that she's promoting her book, but she could have cleared his name while she cleared Judge Joe Brown, Judge Mathis' name. He also talked about how she didn't accuse him directly, or she didn't even say that he or exonerate him and saying that he was innocent. Then Judge Joe Brown came about talking about how he was in his 50s doing his show, and how he was a bachelor and he was in a hotel and one of the women have to go use the restroom, and he claimed that one of the women was confronted by someone and said that they would give her $2,000 if she agreed to that Judge Joe Brown groped her. And he said this was really sad, that he had the affidavits, he had to do some investigation. And then he also talked about other things as well that had nothing to do with Cheryl Lee Ralph. He started talking about things in Hollywood, how you should stop watching the media, and he just went on these conspiracy things all over. My thing is that I don't think that Judge Joe Brown did it. I really don't believe so. I believe it was somebody else. She never named the judge whether he was black or white. She just said it was a man that did it. And so we're just assuming that it was a black judge. It could have been a white judge. There were multiple TV judge back in the 90s. Okay. Back in the TV, you know, in the 90s. That was back TV judge that was going on, and everybody just know a list of that. So if you could just go right here on list of court shows, and you could just go on A, they had America Court with Judge Ross, they had The Blame Game, they had so many other court of current issues, crime and punishment, crime court, Curtis Court, so many other courts, day court, divorce court, due process, family court with Judge Penny, Greg, Pet Judge, guilty or not guilty, Guy Court, Hot Bench, Judge Alex, Judge David Young, George Doty. So it's just so many of Judge Jerry, Judge John D, um, Judge Reinell, Judge Steve Harvey. I mean, it's just so many judges. So I don't know if any of these judges have anything to do with groping Cheryl Lee Ralph, but I don't think that she would create this out of the thin air. I believe this actually happened to her because typically when a woman say this happened to her, she'd get discredited. But I think Judge Mathis got his name cleared, and I feel like she should have cleared Judge Joe Brown because now he's going around because people say, "Oh, it was Judge Joe Brown," because they don't know that it was a lot of judges way back in the day. And she said it was a famous judge, not a black judge. She said a famous TV judge, a famous TV judge. I'm gonna say it again, a famous TV judge, but she did not say black. So people assumed and they ran with it. And now Judge Joe Brown started responding and he started doing a show. And once he started doing a show, then that's when everybody had something to say about this situation. That's why everybody came about, started talking about it, and said, oh my gosh, it must be Judge Joe Brown. And now Judge Joe Brown said he's going to sue. Let me see where we can pull up what he said. Because he said he going to sue for defamation. That's what the man said. Okay. And this was on Judge Joe Brown says he will sue if people say he assaulted Cheryl Lee Ralph. Judge Joe Brown, a tough talking television judge that holds the honor of being the first African American person to preside over a long running courtroom series, wants everybody to know he never sexually assaulted actress Cheryl Lee Ralph. He promised he would sue anyone who publicly named him as the person who spoke about it in a recent interview with Angela Yee. Lee Ralph said during a Give me a second. All right. Hold on 1 second. I am live. I'm 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 live. Okay. Let's go to again. So this was on Judge Joe Brown. This is all in hip hop. And they talked about Lee said during the clip of the interview with Way Up show now surfaces on the internet. I can tell you another time this was a famous TV judge, not Judge Mathis. Okay, I love him. He's a great man. Not him, another one. All right, so y'all heard this. Let me read that part again. That is said on here. Lee Ralph said during the clip of the interview with Way Up show now surface on the internet. I can tell yet another time this is a famous TV judge, not Judge Mathis. I love him. He's a great man. Not him, another one. Okay, all right. Then Shirley Ralph opens up. Um, about being groped by a man in the industry, calling him out about it being sexually assaulted by a famous TV judge, asked not to report it. And then it said, I'm at a very public place. I have my suit on. I was handling my business for the television show I was on that time. He and I were on the same network. She recalled this man walked in and grabbed me by the back of my neck and turned me around and rammed his nasty tongue down my throat. She said she was outraged, claiming everyone from the network saw it. Lee Ralph said she called Mark H., the former mayor of New York, I'm sorry, the former mayor of New Orleans, I'm sorry, and the current president of the National Urban League to ask him for support, but she said she did not leave a name. The public name it for her alleging the mystery judge was Judge Joe Brown. Okay. The syndicated OG, who's before he was retired, was only second to Judge Judy as the longest running judge show on the air, quickly denied being the man in question. He also said no one should play with his name either. This is a warning. I might bring in my legal crew and proceed for defamation of character. He said, you see, when they put a face next to hers, they're starting doing this little stuff there that become innuendo. Okay. Adding that very destructive to my reputation, according to Brown. Okay. He has a long track record of assuring that women get justice and has spent the last half century protecting womanhood and promoting manhood. Fans hit the comment section of the Neighborhood Talk Instagram post saying a hit dog. I mean, yeah, they've been hitting him on Twitter since it came out. Why we acting like the assumption wasn't made? Another person said, giving the judge that benefit of the doubt. Y'all acting dense like some people have addressed. He's not a hit dog hollering. That man is being accused of something serious with facts or proof from the horse's mouth. Y'all the problem, and then y'all act dumb and get even dumber when proven wrong. And I want to say this: Cheryl Lee Ralph is trash in this regard because now that this came out, she needs to come out and make a statement and address the person that put that nasty, crusty tongue down our throat. If it wasn't Judge Joe Brown, name the name. And see, I have a problem with women that say something happened, then you want to make innuendo, or oh, it was a famous actor, or it was a famous singer back in the 90s. And then people are going to start naming names. Now, you know, Judge Joe Brown is being accused of this and is a famous TV judge. You know, come on out here and give the person name that actually did it. If it was a famous TV judge, come on out, give the person name. It needs to be named. If it's happened, break it down, because she definitely need to tell me who did it. Who was the famous TV judge? And people are naming Supreme Court justices. So they not on TV. That's Supreme Court justice. Anyway, she said a famous TV judge on the network. So who is the judge? Is it you cleared Judge Mathis? So you must name the name, because everybody is naming out names all over social media. Like, in the end, they said the show Moesha was out during that time. So how many shows were out during that time? So everybody is talking about this all over social media. They're dragging Judge Joe Brown for filth in the comments. I mean, they're dragging him for filth. I mean, they're dragging this man for filth. They said, F no, it could be Judge Judy, not Judge Joe Brown. I'm just saying in the comments, to be the judge that Judge O'Brien went out his way to snitch on himself. I really don't know what's worth Jonathan Major's situation or Judge Joe Brown seeking a defamation lawsuit of something he wasn't mentioning. What a weekend. So people have already came out and they're saying Judge Joe Brown all over social media. This is over on social media right now. This is over social media and people are talking about it. So when this being said on the social media streets, now we are saying that, oh my gosh, now the man, his name is being mentioned by the blogs and by, not even by the blogs, I'm sorry, but it's been mentioned that in the comments of these blogs. Now, the blog, particular, the Neighborhood Talk, they have not named and said that it was Judge Joe Brown. But the thing about it is, in the comment sections, they're naming Judge Joe Brown. So all over social media, they're naming it. And now they're posting the man mugshot on social media as we speak. They're doing it. They're posting his mugshot, when he was arrested a couple of years back, and they're posting it on social media. So this is to let you know that all of this is going on. And now she have not made a comment to clear it up. Now, maybe she wrote it in her book. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she wrote it in her book, but she said it openly on the show and said this happened. So if this happened to you, name the person's name, because someone innocently could be being accused of this crime, and that's not, right when someone is being accused of a crime. So we need to know if this is something that's going on, because You got Judge Joe Brown doing interviews saying that he's going to sue folks when in reality he may be innocent. And people say, well, a hit dog will holler. If somebody was accusing you of assaulting someone, snatching their cookies and doing all these type of things, you will respond to it as well. You're not going to be the type of person that hears something and won't respond to it. You will respond to it like everybody else. If somebody is saying this about you, you will respond. Period. Okay? I'm just keeping it all the way real. If somebody is accusing you of assaulting someone and you know you didn't do it, you'll be trying to clear your name too. That's all I had to say about that. Okay. So this was all over the blogs. If you want to hit the link to come on, you can hit the link to come on right now because we are live. And I will drop the link in here as well if you want to come on. Give me a second. All right. I dropped the link in here. Do you believe Judge Joe Brown did it? Now, I'm going to do a little poll real quick. Give me a second. I'm going to do a little poll. Press 1 if it was Judge Joe Brown. Press 2, Judge Joe Brown is innocent. It's another judge. Press 1 if it was Judge Joe Brown. Press 2 if it was innocent. Okay? All right? I want you to hit the link and get your thoughts on that. Okay? All right. So, we're definitely going to talk about, hold on one sec. We got a couple of people in here. I want y'all to get to y'all points on this because we are live. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right. All right. Nigger. Oh, come on now. All right. Just so. The trolls. Okay, Jezzo and Star. Okay, I'm gonna start with you, Star. Go ahead, and then Jezzo, you respond. Go ahead, Star.
Hey, Wiley, thank you for letting me come up. I really don't like the place where we are in the world where these women are coming forward and not saying the names. Like, if you can literally sit there and tell the whole story, you got to put a name on that. I just really don't understand why she would do this without saying a name. Because it's only two. I just did my research. Like, I went back and looked, made sure I wasn't missing anything. Did she specify male or female? Because it's not.
It was a famous TV judge, and he stuck his nasty tongue down my throat. So she said it was a man.
Yes, it was only two famous TV judges that are males. Every other is black women.
Because
So
during that time, and let's go back to 1998 when Moesha came out. When did Moesha come out? Let me see. Let me go to my phone here.
yeah, because I think that was the night, or was that the early two?
That was in the 90s.
Yeah. Because I just went back and looked. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm missing something. Let me try
So
to dig
Moesha
deeper.
aired January 23, 1996.
Yeah, so
We would have to go back to famous TV judges in 1996. And it's no necessarily have to be black. Because she didn't say black.
oh, she didn't say black. Okay, that's what I was trying to make sure. I'm like, well, did she say black? Did she specify? Because But even well, okay, I'll say this then. With that said, even her being black and knowing that most people are putting it off on Judge Joe Brown, and if she knows that it's not him, she should really say something. Like, that's not cool. I don't know. It's just given be quiet. If you're not gonna tell the whole truth, just be quiet. And I hate to say it that way, but it's I don't know. It's just weird, especially to come out with it this late. Not saying that people can't come out with their experiences when they feel like it, but if you're gonna tell the whole story, but then not put a name to it, It's giving attention. I want attention. It's
And then
giving
she also and then
I'm trying to sell
she
something.
also got a book that's coming out. So
Right. It's
yeah.
giving I want attention. It's giving I'm trying to sell something. And I mean, quite as it's kept, ain't nobody gonna buy that book. I'm just saying. I mean, Wiley, you gonna purchase it?
Well, I'm gonna purchase it because I'm just interested. While because of course I'm gonna buy it and see what tea is she spilling.
See, so I guess she knows what she's doing then. She's putting that out there so people can buy the book, but I'm not interested. I think majority of people not gonna be interested in it. I actually think she would have gained more people by saying actually who it was. And then people would go to want to read on more. But that was all.
All right, Jezo.
Hey, what's going on? I was kind of confused with what you were talking about in the beginning, but I remember hearing about this story. And first of all, let me say hi, producers, and hey, Wally. Um, I think number one that she's only telling this story because she has this book coming out because she's on that high of what's all going on with her. You know what I mean? She's on the tip of people's tongue right now. Um, Me personally, I feel like this. I feel like you know her being a a powerful name in Hollywood because she's powerful. She has a powerful name, a big name in Hollywood. She's also a bit of an activist. She's also a philanthropist. Um, why not say something, sooner? Why wait to now? Why hold on to this juice now? And that's the thing that bothers me when people come out with these allegations is why hold on to this nugget and then wait until years later to want to say something about it. You know what I mean? Like especially somebody who has some kind of power. You know what I mean? Like you have some kind of power. You have some kind of backing. You have people that back you, and you know what I mean. Versus a regular, everyday, average woman or even man, um, who may not necessarily have that power that she has. You know what I mean? Why should come out now about this? And that's to sell books. Because, like, really, to be honest, no one cares about Cheryl Lee Ralph like that. You know what I mean? Unless she's playing a good role in a movie or something like that, no one cares about Cheryl Lee Ralph. No one cares about her foundations that she's running and what she's doing, and nobody cares about that. So she needs something juicy to talk about to sell this book. But like the other caller said, if you're going to take this time out to mention you being sexually assaulted by somebody, you know what I mean, a public figure, then say the person's name. Just say their name. Just put it out there. Say their name. And I mean, it could have been, I'm thinking about like all the judges, it could have been Judge Wapner. I mean, it could have been Janine Pereiro's husband. I mean, not no, I'm sorry, not Janine. It could have been Michael Carriaro, who is the husband of the current People's Court judge. What's her name? The current one. Oh god damn, I forgot her name. But it could have been any judge. I don't believe in blaming people for things that they have not been found guilty of doing. And she didn't say no names. I don't see why people is pinning this on Judge Joe Brown. I don't know why people are doing that. She didn't say his name. She alluded to a judge, a TV judge, but she never said who. So I don't see why people is automatically depending on him. And she should say something. If it's not him, she should say something. She should tell who it is. That's what I have to say.
So yeah, so because I was looking at the TV judges in the '90s,
Right.
you know, and trying to understand who could it be. So I don't know because during the '90s, I wasn't in watching OT. I was in school, so and I wasn't paying attention about who was the TV judge at that time. Because the only TV judges that I know, and she cleared one of them, was Judge Greg Mathis, and she cleared him and said it wasn't him.
Um, but here's the thing: even though she said a TV judge, it may not been a TV judge that was currently on TV then. It could have been a past judge that was on TV, but it happened in the '90s. The incident.
Yeah, was a famous TV judge because she said a famous TV judge was on. I'm assuming on the network. I don't know if it was on the same network. Let me go and get that quote again.
You was it on UPN, which is now My Nine Network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would have to look, and it's something sad that we have to play these clues, um, connect the dots when it comes to stuff like that. Okay, so I'm not gonna say it was Judge Joe Brown, but we can say that Judge Joe Brown came out and he responded because in the comments and also the court of public opinion said
Hmm.
it was Judge Joe Brown.
So
And
what did Judge Joe Brown say? Not to cut you off.
well, Judge Joe Brown pretty much said he's suing people for defamation. People are using this window. He did do an interview today, and he was trying to clear his name, but then he also said in the interview that he was on a date with somebody, and the lady he was on a date with back in the day, um, a paparazzi or a person reached out to her and came to her and said, we would give you $2,000 if you say that Judge O'Brown groped you. So, this is really something. And now he's trying to clear up his name. And people are saying, well, why are you trying to clear up your name when she never named you? But the general public, I think people are missing this, name the name.
Right. Exactly.
The general in the comments, if you read, because you're not on Instagram, they were naming Judge Joe Brown all in the comments. They were naming them. So I want to bring somebody else on here, add them on here as well. Hello, sister, you live on air?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to say, hey, producers, hey, Wiley, I think you nailed it when you said in the court of public opinion, he has already been found guilty. Um, and I wanted to tie something in. She knows because she is an activist and she does speak up for a lot of things in our Black community. She should know better. So by
Hmm.
her not saying anything, her silence is like almost beckoning it. Okay, it's like she's co-signing it. So
Hmm.
um I think that is wrong. I don't want to, on her side though, I want to give her grace for if she is a victim of abuse or if something happened and she was assaulted. I never think that we should victim shame, saying that there's a time limit to put on the amount of time before she actually says this happened to me, because we don't know the backstory. However, I also find that it makes her story seem less credible that you would be doing this in the air of your book coming out. So it's just so many different gamuts to this story that it almost makes her seem less credible, as even if she were to take this to criminal court. Why are you doing this now? Why are you
Hmm.
doing this in the midst of your book coming out? Why are you saying, oh, this person did it, but I can't say who did? You know what I mean? It kind of opens that Pandora's box. And I just feel like she is less than because she is putting him in the light if it was not him. She is shedding a negative light on him. And I can totally understand if he wants to take things further because it can be quite salacious. That's slanderous. That's not a good look. And that's it. That's all I got to say. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you so very much for calling in. Thank you, Jezzo, for coming on.
Thank you.
And thank you. I just tweeted Cheryl Lee Ralph, and I said she needs to clear Joshua Brown name immediately. If he didn't do it, she needs to clear it. And so we reached out to her via social media on Twitter, and we definitely need that to be cleared because he's out here doing all of this and defending his name and all of this. Now he can't sue Shirley Ralph, but he can also sue bloggers if they are trying to make it seem like he did it. And that's what we're saying, that we are saying on this show that he did not do it because he have not been accused as of yet. As of today, we can't say that he is guilty. So none of my notes I'm saying he's guilty. I'm not going to say that because he have not been accused by Shirley Ralph. He has not been accused of a crime of this nature concerning Cheryl Lee Ralph. So we will say as of right now that everything that we're speaking on is alleged, but we will say that Cheryl Lee Ralph is trash for not naming the judge's name. And now an innocent person possibly could be accused and he's being dragged to a court of public opinion. She have every right to come on out and to clear this immediately. All right. She need to clear his name immediately. All right. She need to clear his name immediately. All right. She need to clear his name immediately because it definitely needs to be cleared, because if his name is not clear, people will continue to bring this up on social media all the time. So she definitely need to clear his name. Now I want to bring one more person up. Okay. I thought somebody else was backstage. All right. Clear his name immediately. That's all I'm saying, because he wasn't being named, but the court of public opinion in the comments, they were saying it was Judge Joe Brown, 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 Judge Joe Brown. They were saying his name. So that's why he's on a press tour right now. Okay. All right. Because now another person posted and I reposted it. They were posting up comments about how he was homophobic back in the day. So now they dragging all these comments up. All right. They were definitely dragging up all these comments about him all over the social media. So it definitely being said, man, I'm telling y'all, it's something that is going on all in these social media streets. Okay. And then they also brought up this. Let's be clear. They just brought up this, this. They said a video Judge Joe Brown called Bill Cosby accusers groupies. They said that TV judge gets raw about what he thinks about the women that accused Dr. Cosby of sexual assault and drugging. In an interview with Mark Lamont Hill, Judge Joe Brown said he really thinks about laws set up to protect women, how groupies don't have rights because they give head in hallway closets, and why Bill Cosby should not be held more accountable for drugging the women since they wanted them. They said when talking about Cosby relief off a technicality after being convicted and sentenced, Brown said this never should have gone to trial. It's a travesty. It is a violation of due process and American law. This is a part of the mess that the mainstream media is trying to feed into the heads of the sinistry and poison them by saying the emotions and their feelings are supposed to have over what happened within the law. This is not way it goes. Judge Brown went on and said, quote, what about these women being accountable for their own behavior? They were goofies, sex, drugs, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rap, sex, drugs, baseball, football, basketball, movies, television. We forgot what the term meant. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. The B come to parties, they hang out, they get drunk, they snort lines of blow, and they have good time. They use the hallway closets to give head, in the bathrooms to get down, and go in to get their coat off the bed, and they're lying on the top of it doing somebody. Judge Joe Brown even pinpointed when problems led to Bill Cosby being accused of sexual assault and rape, led to Samantha's 25, 30, 45, 50. So they were just digging up old stuff of him defending Bill Cosby. So, baby, it's all on the Twitter street. So I had to just break this down. I had to just break this down, y'all, but it's definitely been said all over the social media streets, man, all over. They're just definitely breaking this down. And wow, Thank you all so very much for tuning into the Wiley Show. Make sure y'all share. We'll be right back in another live. I'm about to go eat something, and then we'll be right back with a whole nother live. We'll be getting to Jonathan. We'll be getting to that tea. So thank y'all so very much. Make sure y'all share the live, thumbs up the live, and we'll be right back in another live. So I'm going to go take me a little lunch break, eat me something, and then we'll be right back on the show. Okay?